To paint a picture, if you have a 2.5 story building with a detached garage, the Hamilton is saying, go ahead, build out 4 legal units. Like when this came, like I'm like a kid in a candy store, but when this came into inception, we gathered as a group. We're like, okay, we're looking at our own portfolio. What can we do here? Legalize this unit, this garage. This is the first thing that I bring to the table in an investor consultation. So rents in Hamilton. We pulled these stats from Sumper. Now we're seeing the rents regress. Interest rates are higher. A little bit more analysis goes into these performers now, right? So the time to buy is still now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I'm Jeff Barker. This is Dakota Warkentin.
And we are the co-founders of Opinicon Investments. Our mission is to help people generate wealth through real estate investing. And today we have Abdellah here with us on the channel. Abdellah, how are you doing today?
I am very good, Dakota. Thank you. Nice to meet you and Jeff. Doing great. Busy time to start the year, and look forward to the presentation today.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we're excited to hear about the Hamilton market.
Yeah, Jeff's actually going to be in Hamilton for the first time ever very soon. So it's very timely, actually, to be learning a bit about Hamilton.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you do in Hamilton.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been investing myself alongside my brother and family members now into partnerships. But since 2013, so we've definitely had the fortune of being able to analyze, buy and sell a variety of different asset classes, from single family to large scale commercial. So still very much aggressively growing our portfolio down into the US now. So we got some new builds going on down there that hopefully be done by the end of August. So first crack at the kind of US Airbnb scene. So looking forward to that. Aside from that, I run the Majd Realty Group. It's a sales team of 5. We've been together about 3 years. Very investment focused for sure. And then just coming up to the 1-year anniversary of having the pleasure of operating a boutique brokerage here in Hamilton, Rebel Realty. We're the Hamilton Central location here on John Street. So right now we're currently at 21 licenses. Hopefully a couple more joining in the next week or two. So I wear a few different hats and just try to keep my head above water between that and the interest rates. So we'll put it that way.
Yeah, the interest rates have really wreaked some havoc and made the market a very interesting place right now.
Yeah. Quick transition too.
Yeah. We're interested to see what's happening in Hamilton, because this is a place that, as an investor for a long time, we heard a lot of different investors moving to Hamilton and very interested in Hamilton the last couple of years. It's been quite a hot topic for a lot of investors, is getting into Hamilton. So I'm really interested to see what's going on there right now. What have the interest rates done to Hamilton, and what are we looking at going into the spring market in Hamilton?
Yeah, super pumped to get into that. And if I may add one thing, I think a lot of people's draw to Hamilton just comes down to how eclectic it is. I think there's a lot of misconception that Hamilton's Toronto and it's wildly oversaturated and this, that, and the other. But there's still an incredible amount of infrastructure that's coming. Not to say that we can handle the hundreds and hundreds of units that are coming by way of condos, but it's a vast variety of different options here. And obviously I'm super biased, but there's an investment here for everybody.
Perfect.
Nice.
Well, let's see what's happening in Hamilton right now.
Yeah, let's jump in here. So yeah, just a little billboard that we all start out with, guys. So yeah, Rebel Hamilton Central down here on John Street, a year in, and we'll be hopefully opening up a location next year. So we use median freehold stats. Been doing that since the first shoot that we did here. Now, kind of at the end of 2022 and as 2023 opened up, just to give viewers a look at the market isn't crashing. I mean, there's been, of course, a wildly violent regression with the amount of interest rate hikes we've had over the last 8 to 10 months. But essentially, if you look there between the end of if you're going pre-pandemic versus year to date, you're still up huge, in my opinion, right? So, I mean, numbers don't lie. And, you know, I get the question all the time with investors, with end users, whoever the purchaser may be, that, hey, should I wait until these prices bottom out a little bit more? My answer every time is, I think we've seen the end of it to a degree. You know, not to say that there aren't sellers out there that are just in a position where they unfortunately have to fire sale for whatever, you know, ungodly reason, but we're holding strong here. I mean, things change across every rate hike announcement, but for the most part, I think we've seen the end. Competition's back. You're still though in a market where if you price it right, and I know that's like the most cliche thing to say, it will sell quick.
Right.
There's really no other way to put it. So we're still up big time from 2019, and we always like to ask the viewers what you think the median price is going to be next month. It'd be interesting to see what that number comes back at.
Yeah, and it looks like we're really still on trend with 2022 being an outlier, right? So you're still, if you draw a straight line through it, you're still seeing that upward trend. It's just 2022 went a little crazy, and then things are kind of, I think, back to normal. We're still up from 2021.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you sold in Feb of 2022, God bless.
Yep.
We sold a flip February 2022 in Ottawa, and it was wild. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. Good timing on your part, guys. So stats wise, we've seen sales to new ratios fall over last year's levels, ranging from a low 42% in the apartment sector to 59% for row properties. Inventory levels are up across all property types. That's been the case for the last few months. Really hasn't changed on that front. However, levels in the detached market is slightly lower than what is typical for January. January prices were up over the previous month, except in the apartment condo sector. So I like to focus more on the freehold stuff when we talk about these stats. Obviously, the January 2023 and the year to date are identical, being only 1 month in here. I kind of touch on this every video that we do, that those minuses are still coming, and we don't know when they're going to stop. Right, we're still in a space where we're regulating here. The time to buy is still now. But I think there's been a nice little balance where sellers are, it's just about confidence to me. First, we saw buyer confidence come back. Now sellers are going back out and doing the whole holding offers. The presentations are coming back. We're really seeing it from both sides, but you still have, you know, a large block of stale listings that still exist. I'd love to see when, you know, the 60, 90, 120 day on market properties have kind of vanished, and really get a good look at how balanced this is. But yeah, sales are still way down. Inventory is still way up. It's just something that's going to take a little while longer to get a clear cut look at. Sales, again, 21.2% year over year. Inventory, absolutely sky high. Your month supply, or for the realtors out there, your absorption rate, climbing a little bit. So to give you perspective, during the pandemic and the height of that craziness, the months of supply were probably 3 to 4 weeks. Now where you're at the 3-month level. And then your days on market, I would say a properly priced asset will move much quicker than 38 days. You're seeing list to sale inside of 3 weeks. This kind of incorporates those stale listings as well that get relisted. But I mean, they're essentially the same color arrow that we've been looking at for the last 2 or 3 months. So
yeah. And sellers are really holding on to the old prices, I think. And that's probably days on market.
Yeah, for sure, Jeff. Yeah, you're starting to see less of that. I'm talking about like boots on the ground conversation that we're having with our sellers and prospective sellers that, all of last year as the free fall was happening, those conversations were borderline impossible. Like there wasn't many sellers you'd walk into their home and you can convince them that their house is worth 20% less than 3-4 months ago. Mm-hmm. Now we have a lot more data to work off of, and I'm all about data. And to me, there's no way you're convincing somebody without showing them, hard proof, right?
Yep.
So the conversation is getting easier, but of course you still have consumers out there that just absolutely refuse to believe what is happening. But it all comes down to their plans, right? If you absolutely don't need to sell right now, I would probably hold it out. And especially with investors, but I know there's unfortunately a lot of people, that had this wave of these new mortgage payments come at them. And, sometimes you just can't weather the storm, which is, unfortunate. And it's just the name of the game right now. But I would say if, unless there's a life event unfortunately that happens, or fortunately, I would hold on and kind of see what the future brings in the short term.
Yeah, I think we've seen some. I think there's a lot of confusion for a long time, especially in the last couple of months. And I think that confusion is starting to calm a little bit, but there is some there. And when there's a lot of confusion, people just don't really know what to do. So I agree. Like if you can kind of wait until that confusion settles, then you might be in a better position to be able to sell. So at least people have a good idea of what's going on when you're selling.
Yeah, perfectly said, Dakota. It's about conversation, right? Like you're still seeing, unfortunately, it's part of the business, and I'm not putting anybody down, but people going out there and kind of selling the dream that you can get X for, and then it's just simply not the case, right? It's right now, as a realtor, this isn't the pandemic where you put a sign on the lawn and we'll see you in a week flat. You got to get in there. The script, you got to be seasoned, and you're going in there. The discovery's got to be deeper rooted when you're initially having these conversations on both sides of the coin, whether selling or buying, right? It's just, you have to do your homework, and you have to be prepared to have some tough conversations. We're just the type of realtors, if we generally don't believe in the price or the plan, I'm okay walking away from the deal. I just don't want to put anybody in a tough situation. So these stats we pulled essentially from the Hamilton Mountain, where we do quite a bit of our business, especially with the duplex conversions. So again, there's really nothing further to analyze. That year over year, average price down big. So obviously, especially on the year-to-date side. So these price points during the pandemic, getting into a bungalow, then you were essentially paying $900,000 plus. And I mean, you can see now where the affordability lies, especially for investors, where the Hamilton Mountain yields the highest rents. And then we'll talk about the rents on the next slide. So this is essentially a microcosm of what we spoke about a couple slides ago. But on the Hamilton Mountain, for those investors that like those all brick bungalows that have the straightforward kind of basement conversion. So rents in Hamilton. We started using the slide last time around because we do an insane amount of leasing because, of fortunately the amount of investors that we have the pleasure of working with. So we pulled these stats from Sumper. Just being in a variety of different like group chats with other industry professionals on Facebook, through WhatsApp, whatever the case is. There's a collective analysis that the rents are taking a hit for a variety of different reasons. A lot of landlords out there that are dealing with vacant units are now just basically unloading them however they can, obviously hurting the data. Not to blame anybody for that, but now we're seeing the rents regress. Interest rates are higher. A little bit more analysis goes into these pro formas now, right? So even on the short-term rental side, everybody knows Hamilton's going into a regulatory program now with only being able to do Airbnbs in your primary residence. So there's lots going on. Rents are coming down. You're fighting it with STRs and MTRs. Now that's becoming a problem. So you just have to have the right conversation, the right person in your corner to navigate.
And that's very new for you guys, right? This was a very recent change for you, I believe.
Yeah,
the short-term rental.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're seeing that a lot more common across the board.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then the arbitrage scene, which I thought was incredible. I know it's been happening in the GTA for quite some time. But it was a nice way to essentially hedge, right? Especially even us personally, kind of getting caught in the shift where we're cowboys a little bit, where we just buy and kind of just let it run. But obviously, a couple of our properties got caught in the shift. We've unloaded a couple, fortunately, and still need to dig a little bit more. But yeah, it's brand new with the new leadership at the city. There's been rumblings for months and months, and now it's officially coming to fruition. But again, it came, it went. Long-term rent is always going to be the the end all to be all. You just have to take your time with the vetting, right? Especially with how much more difficult it gets with dealing with tenants here in this province. So I would say, look, it's the main message is take your time when vetting a tenant. We realize, the burn rate can get out of control, but you will hate yourself for taking a tenant that, is essentially going to be a headache down the road.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a conversation that we have with a lot of people that are nervous about becoming landlords, because there are a lot of bad stories out there. And we tell people, we've overall had, people would say good luck with tenants, but I don't think it's luck. I think it comes down to having a really good vetting process.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then treating your tenants like they're humans, right? Because in the end, that's your client. So treating them well. If they have issues, try to help them resolve those issues so that you can develop a good relationship with them. So it can be scary, but if you approach it with the right lens, you can actually develop really good relationships with your tenants, and then they're more likely to pay their rent, which is good for the investor.
Exactly. No, Dakota, beyond perfectly said, took the words out of my mouth. So I dealing with new landlords all the time. That is the thing that comes out of my mouth all the time, is be human. There's a human factor to everything in investing. You can't just look at everything as a robot. Like, you have to, I'm not saying take on somebody that can barely afford your unit. That's just, standard vetting, but exactly, like, you have to show genuine, there needs to be a genuine approach to it. Because if the tenant feels like, hey, I got a great landlord, they're going to respect the unit more. They're going to pay on time, right? It's just a domino effect with the benefits that are going to come from it. So no, it's perfectly said. Zoning. So we've left this in our deck for the last little while, just because conversation that we have There's still a lot of investors and newbie investors trying to get into the space that just don't have the proper education. So we go out of our way. We take pride in learning about what's going on in the city with feasibility and intensification. Our construction company, our engineers is always on top of it with changes to the building code, and especially with zoning. And this is something that's been incepted now for a while in Hamilton with R1 and R1A. I can't stress this enough. Like, to paint a picture, and I mean, this all comes with compliance, of course, but basically at the top end, if you have a 2.5-story building with a detached garage, the Hamilton is saying, go ahead, build out 4 legal units. Of course, there's planning. There's always red tape. Like, when this came, like, I'm like a kid in a candy store, but when this came into inception, we gathered as a group. We're like, okay, we're looking at our own portfolio. What can we do here? Legalize this unit, this garage. And this is the first thing that I bring to the table in an investor consultation. Obviously, it's capital intensive. I spoke on a panel for Revel last week at an event speaking about this and intensification. Now an investor can look at one parcel with the ability, I mean, it has to be specific, of course, to that density. Now they can look at one parcel, one purchase, and take it into basically a small apartment building.
Yeah.
Whereas before, Hamilton would gouge you, and you're working around red tape, left, right, and center. You're limited to a duplex at best with the former zoning that used to be in place here with the C&D zoning. To me, it's incredible. Now I have the same purchase price. Of course, I'm going to require a ton more capital to get it there, but I can focus on one asset as opposed to here's a duplex, move on. Here's another purchase, move on. I mean, the lending aspect, the underwriting still has to catch up to the nuances of these parcels. But to me, it's a foregone conclusion. And just even looking at the zoning map earlier, getting some info for a client, there's still an incredible amount of room to grow here. So I can't stress it enough. This has just been an absolute game changer in Hamilton.
Yeah, this is a huge opportunity. And I know you said it's capital intensive, but if you were going to be doing the same thing, but you were doing 2 single-family homes and having to convert those both into duplexes, that's probably going to be more capital intensive than if you can, like you said, focus on your one, make that into 4, and then you have that all in one spot. So now you have your one mortgage with 4 tenants that are going to be paying it, rather than 2 different mortgages where you have only 2 tenants paying those mortgages on your property. Like, this is a huge opportunity for people. And I know this is, like, for Ottawa, we can do 3, which is also a huge opportunity for Ottawa, but this is like massive for Hamilton.
Absolutely. Yeah. Game changer. It's centralizing the asset. Exactly as you said, Dakota. I'm dealing with 4 tenants on one parcel. I got to deal with one Scotiabank account. Management is locked in on one parcel. To me, it's just, it's a see you next week here. So no, we're and again, with just always trying to be a step ahead. Now, again, we're looking at our own portfolio, approaching clients we've worked with in the past, doing due diligence on their parcel, and be like, hey, like, just remember, when time comes, that basement unit can be legal now. So it's it makes for good conversation for sure. They're easier.
Yeah, you touched on a really good point there, that you can already own the asset, and now maybe you can work on, like, kind of doing some reassessment of stabilization, and maybe you can add more to it, right? So it doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a new property. You can look at what you have in your portfolio already, and potentially you can increase its value and increase your cash flow with it this way. That's huge.
Absolutely, yeah. We're doing a lot more of this retroactive stuff in Hamilton. I mean, I owe a lot of it off to the construction crew and our engineer, but we're just guys that try to think outside the box. But again, perfectly said. It's now I can look back and be like, okay, I don't have to spend $800,000 again. I can spend $200,000, go here, refinance. The beauty of this, like, get it to a duplex, refinance it, build your third, Obviously, you got to qualify for everything, but the staggered refinancing to me is another game changer on the lending side. So
that new zoning. Sorry, one more thing. That
no
came
problem,
as a result of Bill 23. Is that right?
basically hand in hand.
Yeah,
Hand in
so
hand.
it's interesting what Hamilton did, because a lot of municipalities that we're seeing, they say Bill 23 and they're like, okay, wait, we're not ready for this. But Hamilton took it one step further and they just said, you know what? Why stop at 3? Let's go with 4.
Yeah, exactly. Hamilton is just so diverse in zoning. I've talked about e-zoning on this channel before, and what's allowable under there. It's the world's your oyster here for sure. And especially when you get into the purpose built stuff.
Yeah, you can tell when a municipality realizes that there's an issue with the amount of rental units or with the population, and just sees the need and just offers a solution to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one's a detached garage suite. So to go hand in hand, R1A zoning here. This is a client of ours that picked up a duplex conversion, and we were able to do the third legal unit here. The parking was spot on. So this one's currently listed on Realtor. This is a little bit of passion obviously behind this, with our construction company being behind it, and being our first one, and one of the first ones in Hamilton to be legalized. It's just super happy with being a part of it from the real estate side, and the ability to get our hands on it with the construction team. So this one wasn't built from the ground up. When the property was purchased, that garage existed. So it had poured concrete foundation. There was 9-foot ceilings, mid 600s on the square footage. This thing was just an absolute canvas. And if you see some of the pictures there, like to be investing for as long as we have, and to see something like this materialize, it's incredible. Now, you basically have your own little house. Like
that's amazing
to walk this thing. Yeah, it's incredible. 2 good sized rooms, great flow from the kitchen to the living room, tankless water heater, HRV system there, in-suite laundry, 2 parking spots. So these are our main focus going forward with our permitted work. But just to give you guys an idea of what these garage conversions are looking like when they do come to the finish line.
Yeah, that's it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
So the next few slides, guys, we're just going to go through some investment opportunities that we essentially have in our pocket right now. So this one's on Macaulay Street West in Hamilton, near the Harborfront. Everybody knows what the Harborfront's about to do in the next few years with large-scale, mixed-use development. So you have a legal 4-plex here, got a D zoning. I'll almost bet my life that'll turn into R1A in the next little while. Value add is we always like all 1-bed, 1-bath units. All the slides are going to be on unpriced rather. And if anybody is interested, you guys can just leave us a comment below. I'll leave my contact information as well near the end. But essentially, just always like to bring these kind of our market opportunities to the viewers here. This one's right in the downtown core off of James Street, so prime time. Side-by-side semis, 4 total units, D zoning. The developer, the owner here has looked into possible development. You're in a pocket there where there is a lot of continuity with low rise as well. But same density wise, same zoning, and A+ area there off of James Street. For the mixed use buyers, this one, the next 2 are on King Street, so right off the LRT route. If you've been to Hamilton and you drive down King as you enter off Wellington, you'll see very continuous mixed use building all down the corridor. These are both main floor commercial, 2-floor upper, great for business owners to supplement their income. And again, any interest, guys, just drop us a note in the comments, and we can happily share the investor package with you, as well as the price. And another one here next door, same specs, 2 bedrooms on the residential above it, and main floor commercial. Very popular kind of setup in Hamilton, especially down this corridor here. And then our last one, off of Barton Street East. Everybody know Barton is slowly but surely intensifying and coming to life, both at the east and westerly points. So corner lot here, again, main floor commercial, 3 residential apartments above it. Great mixed use opportunity as well.
Amazing. Lots of good opportunities. Yeah,
it's definitely fortunate to connect with so many investors and ones that have been doing it, twice as long as we have. So this one was a recent deal that some end user clients of us picked up. Great young couple. We were working together for a while, and we finally landed on this one. And we went back and forth with hey, should we do the single family approach? And while we're having discussion, these rates are slowly progressing. And then finally, we decided the duplex or the live and rent situation was the best course of action. This one's actually legal, non-conforming, triple car parking off the laneway in the back. It's got that R1A zoning. So you already have purpose-built units, live in one. We'll get approximately $1,800 plus hydro in the other unit. And then there'll be Airbnb the basement, which will fall under the new regulations being your primary residence. So all in all, super happy there. Lots of different strategies with this one.
Can you speak a little bit more to the house hacking topic? Because I know this is one of Jeff and mine's favorite ways to get started in investing. So, and I know house hacking has been talked about quite a bit on this channel, but can you discuss a little bit about why that was a strategy you presented to these purchasers, and a little bit about what the benefits are of it?
Of course. So me personally, I'm 36 years old. I'll be 37 this year. I'm just finally moving into a single family primary residence in September. And that was our approach since day one, since 2013. We as a family lived in duplexes, made life a lot easier. We're able to save money a little bit better, even though we find every way to spend it on investing in real estate. But to me, it comes from a place of passion, and having lived through house hacking and how that's allowed us to do a lot more than if buying a $1 million property and spending $5-6 grand a month to carry it, right? And kind of sharing those costs. And my clients would tell you that, it's not like anybody was forced into it, but just making those points clear. This is such a springboard. I use that word a lot these days with house hacking. Look at it this way. You buy this property. Between the long-term tenant and the STR, you're offsetting, call it, for this particular property, $2,200 a month. What that does for you on a daily basis, to me, is incredible.
Yep.
Now, fast forward, one kid comes, a second kid, and you're like, okay, I'm done living with tenants. Everybody gets to that point on the house hacking side. Now I exit this space. I get into my primary residence. Now I have a triplex that I've created value in over time.
Yep.
And I forced that appreciation. The equity's rising at a rapid pace. Now I've created more than enough equity that I can refinance this and basically have a free down payment for the next property.
Yep.
Yeah, it's incredible. Right? The house hack strategy. That's actually how Jeff and I got started. We did a secondary dwelling unit conversion, lived upstairs, and got the tenant in the basement. Eventually, like you said, we were like, okay, it's time to not live with our tenants anymore, and we moved out. But
now we have a duplex that has renters in both units.
Yeah.
And did the refi to purchase actually this house we're in now.
Yeah. And it also taught us, like, you don't necessarily have to be, it doesn't have to be necessarily a unit you're renting. Like, we rented the garage at that property, and now we live in a house with property with multiple garages. And we were like, we're not using one of them, so why don't we rent it? So it's just, it's getting into this space and learning these different tools that you can use even if you're at your personal single family home. Like, we now rent out one of our garages, because why have 3? We don't need that many.
We're out in the country, by the way. We have lots of space here.
Yeah. The garage, again, I'm not even talking about converting one to a living space, but the garages here in Hamilton, you can get that thing rented for storage overnight.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that.
It was very easy, and I had my pick of the litter on
yeah. Oh yeah. It's incredible. We sold one at the end of last year, down in like the central north end of Hamilton, and had this massive detached garage at the back of the lot. Client was getting $500 a month, and people were like scratching and clawing to get in there. Right. And we have experience with it personally. It's just, I love that, guys. Like, the feedback there is, it's like you're in a state now. Like, look around your property. I'm sure there's something there you can rent. Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to finish off on the house hacking thing, to me, it's the way it propels your portfolio, your purchasing path. To me, it comes down to life too. Like, it's just, obviously you have to be a certain person, live with tenants. I'm not saying it's right for everybody. I deal with a lot of people that I will always bring this strategy forward, and they'll just shut it down. No problem. And we could kind of just look at the single family stuff, but these are game changers when on your first purchase. And I know these guys will do great, and maybe a garage suite down the road, but no, I'm excited for them. So yeah, guys, getting to the tail end here. I think we have maybe 3-4 more slides. So Mary Court Developments, for the passive type of investor. These are converted units from apartments to condos by an agent in our office, Kareen, who's overseeing the development and the sales behind it. Still a ton of units left. These things are beautiful. They come together nicely. They're in Westdale, highly sought after area, in the Lower West End. So you have your pick of the litter, right, with mature students, as well as long-term tenants. You can see the specs on them there, with 2-bedroom versus 1-bedroom. I mean, with current interest rates, they might not look the most attractive, but again, it's that type of personality where you want to be completely passive. Maintenance is taken care of, but we just kind of like to offer, different strategies, and it doesn't have to be all burrs and conversions, right? There are a ton of different ways to invest, and this one is essentially your kind of debt pay down. So this is an investment tour that we initially launched at the end of last year. We know a lot of other companies do it. We kind of do it a little differently, bringing a brokerage together, a construction team that only does permitted work, as well as an engineer who knows everything inside out on the conversions. So March 11th at 11 a.m. we'll be starting at our office here at 69 John Street South. We've got plenty of space. We'll be going through a variety of different strategies, duplexes, triplexes, the garage suite that you saw earlier. So a wealth of knowledge coming at you during the day, and then coming back to the office for some analysis and refreshments as well. So great turnout last time. We're on the same pace this time around. But for any viewers that are entry level, I mean, at any juncture in your real estate investment kind of career, this would be a great way to, especially if you don't know Hamilton, a great way to immerse yourself in what's going on here.
Yeah, boots on the ground events can be very powerful.
Yeah. Oh, they've been amazing, Jeff. So we did it. First one I did of these was a few years back. I was on a previous team before I started my own, and I couldn't believe the response. But over the years, you just when people can come physically look and not do it through a webinar or a Zoom, it's completely different outlook there. And then just some more shameless promoting here with Deck Inc., our trusted partners here. As a realtor, longtime investor, we all have heard of the one-stop shop, and this is our version of it between 555 Construction Management and Deck Inc. And we come together cohesively to make sure that clients are taken care of with their conversion projects. So our preferred vendors there, and Rebel Hamilton Central, we're always looking for great talent. Again, 21 licenses currently. It's very boutique, very intimate, tons of support. Investment focus is a plus, but I'm always happy to have a chat with an aspiring agent. And I think that brings us to the end of the fun.
Awesome.
That was a really good update, and I think we learned quite a bit about what's going on in Hamilton. I know it's a place that we've been curious about for a while because of all the buzz in the investment world. So I think that was a really good overview of what's going on.
Yeah. No, appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for your input as well.
Of course.
That was, had a great time.
Yeah. And Abdellah, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
So Majd Realty Group on Instagram and Facebook. So MAJD Realty Group, majdrealty.com, Revel Hamilton Central on Facebook and Instagram, revelrealty.ca. And I'm always happy to give out my number, 905-921-6253. You can reach us on any of those platforms, and we're happy to get a chat going.
Sounds like whatever's the most convenient for you.
Yeah, my phone doesn't stop rumbling, so I'm always aware.
You're easy to find, which is always good.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Yeah, if anyone in Hamilton is looking for some good experience, especially it sounds like with any of the new zoning that's happening, anything that's happened with Bill 23, these conversions, you're a really great contact by the sounds of it. So make sure you reach out to Abdellah. If you want to find us, we're Opinicon Investments. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook. We also have a new YouTube channel, so you can check that out. We love networking. We love talking to new people. We partner a lot with active and passive investors. So reach out if you want to find out what we're doing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Abdellah.
Thanks, guys.
Until next time, guys.
Take care.